Shalom, family trendsetter. All praises be to the Most High. Assalamu alaikum. I'm actually driving, so you'll hear some noise in the background, as well as you may get some interruption. Because it seems like whenever I'm trying to make a video, I get some kind of interruption. So I'm pretty much just getting over some kind of illness. I don't know what it is. I went to the doctor very reluctantly to find out what it was, and they didn't even know what the hell it was. They took a flu test. They asked me did I take a COVID test, which I did a home test, and this shit came back negative. Then I did a flu test, that came back negative, and the doctor said, well, maybe it's too soon. They asked me when the symptoms started, and I gave them the date, so they was like, oh yeah, it's definitely too soon for either test to show up. So I'm going to assume what I had was either the flu or some other strain of the CV, right? So I'm at the doctor, and I'm talking to the doctor. She's asking me questions, asking me, am I taking anything over the counter? I said, not really. I'm, taking, because what I do for the most part, I take like bush medicine and shit. I don't like taking medication, because for me, it's like you take one thing. I just say you take a medication to fix one problem, and you get like several different other problems and shit, right? So it's like, for me, it doesn't make sense to take a medication that has side effects. So you're gonna fix one problem and get like 10 different other issues to work with, to deal with. So she asked me, what am I taking? So I said, nothing really. She said, what about for the cough? Are you taking any cough suppressant cold medicine? I said, nah. I said, why would I take, and this is how I talk to people sometimes, these so-called high IQ people. I said, why would I take a cough suppression medicine to suppress the cough? I said, isn't the cough supposed to allow the mucus to break up, to expel it from your body? Isn't that what the whole purpose of coughing is for? Like, the body is trying to get rid of the mucus. And when I said it to her, she actually looked at me in amazement, like, and I'm looking at her, she's looking at me and shit. It's almost like I said something alien. And you know what she said to me? This is a doctor, family. This is a fucking doctor. The doctor said to me, I never thought of it that way. You're right. Like, why would you suppress the cough? And I'm like, when she said it, I thought she was joking, right? But she was dead ass serious, no smile, nothing. And it's almost like she just learned something. I taught her something. And in my mind, I'm like, that's common sense. Like, what the fuck? Why would you take a suppressant to suppress a cough when a cough is supposed to actually help you, allow you to expel the mucus? And it's like, damn, did I invent the wheel and shit in medicine? Because she really was amazed by what I said. And this is why I realized for the first time that you have a lot of educated dummies out there and shit. Not because they got titles under their names, doctorate this and doctorate that means that they're smart, because you got a lot of educated fools out there, family. And she was like, okay. So she said, what kind of herb medicine are you taking? And I'm like, well, just stuff that I'm used to taking from home, back home. When I used to live back home, I had family members went down there to Jamaica recently, and I asked them to bring up. And she asked me, and I told her, and she wrote the shit down, family. She asked me, how can she get it? I said, well, they have to have somebody, some kind of connection. And family. Now I'm making this video because now she looked like she could have been Filipino. She looks like she's Asiatic, but not like Asians, Filipino. And she was asking me, she said, what kind of bush medicine you take? So I'm thinking like she's trying to see, put down on the record like what I'm taking, but she's actually writing it down on her notes, like writing it down, because I noticed she have a tablet, and when she asks me like medical questions, she'll put, like, if she asked me, what kind of over-the-counter medication I took, I told her I didn't take any. She'll note that in the tablet. But when I was giving her the information about the bush, right, and the name of the bush that I was taking, she wrote it down on a separate pad, like a separate paper. And I was a little bit taken back. I was like, whoa, and then she said, so she said, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to recommend that you just pretty much drink a lot of fluid, because what these doctors do, right, they don't really do shit. You go there, they take their stethoscope, they say hi, they check your ears, they check your fucking breathing, your lungs, whatever, heart, whatever, right? And that's it. And then they bill your insurance company and you still got to pay a copay. They don't do anything. So she said, well, I'm going to recommend that you do this and do that. I mean, shit that I'm already doing, drink a lot of liquid. And, if you feel, if the headaches is unbearable, you should take some Motrin and blah, and Tylenol and all this shit. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I ain't taking that shit. You know what I mean? But I'm like, okay, yeah. And then she said to me, and then what you could do is you can come back either tomorrow or she said, make an appointment to come back for tomorrow or the next day so I can give you another COVID test. And I'm like, no. I said, I'm good. I don't need another test. I said, I did one at home, and very reluctantly, I said, I don't want nothing being pushed up in my nostril, almost touching my brains, because I don't know what's on the tip of these. So no, I'm talking to her like, no, I'm not dealing with y'all pharmakia, right? Y'all witchcraft, because in the Bible, right, there's a passage in the Bible that talk about pharmacy, right? And it's what it's called, pharmakia. That's where they do witchcraft. And if you really think about these drugs that they give you, right? See, I believe illness is actually possession. I believe illness is possession. And when you take these medication, all it does is just expel these entities that's in you. This is what I believe personally. I don't care what nobody say, right? So I said to her, nah, I think I'll be all right. I don't think I need to come back because, I mean, even I said to her, even if let's say you diagnose me with a flu or let's say COVID, right? What are you going to give me anything to cure it? Are you going to give me anything to fix it? She said, well, no, usually, it has to run its course. That's okay. So then why am I coming back to be diagnosed for some illness that I feel I already have? And I'm already feeling these illnesses because that's why I'm here. And you're not giving me anything to remedy it. So what's the sense of me coming back? It doesn't make sense to me to come back so you can get another copay out of me and then, bill my insurance for a second visit. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. And I think with her, right, she didn't get upset. I think she was intrigued with me because I guess the way I speak, I'm not articulate, but I have a lot of common sense. The shit that I say, it makes a lot of sense. And one thing I noticed with Asians are very educated people. They're very smart people. They don't have common sense. They don't know how to drive, right? Yes, I'm stereotyping. They do, because the Asian told me herself that they don't know how to drive, right? But they're very smart. And I think that's what she could relate with me, because the way how I present myself, I'm not just your average black nigga. You know what I'm saying? I got some street smart. I don't have to be well educated, book smart wise, but I use a lot of common sense. So I said, why would I come back the second time for a test? What is the test going to do for me? Well, then she said, she tried to get slick with it. She said, well, at least we can actually identify what illness you have. I said, okay, so once you identify the illness, are you going to remedy it? Are you going to give me something for me to feel better? And she said, well, usually cold has to run its course. And if it is COVID, then, we really don't have anything other than what, they normally recommend, which is, rest and water, liquid and blah, blah, blah. And so I said, what if it's the flu? She said, well, if it's the flu, we can give you Tamiflu, some shit called Tamiflu, right? So I said, does Tamiflu have any side effects? She said, no, it doesn't really. She said, it doesn't really have any side effects, which means it does, right? So I said, okay, what is the Tamiflu going to do if it's the flu? She said, well, it kind of helps, it kind of hasten the recovery process, but it's still gonna have to run the score, but it kind of hasten it. So I said, how does it hasten it? Like, what does it do? Does it pretty much mask the symptoms while it's running its course? Because that's what medication does. You know that, like, when you take Tylenol, right? You get a headache and shit, and you take Tylenol. You know that the Tylenol really doesn't get rid of the headache. It actually masks the symptoms of these neurological pain receptors and shit. Let me go education on your ass. These receptors and shit, right? These pain receptors. All it does is it suppresses the receptors, and you feel like your headache is gone. Your headache is still there. You just don't feel the pain because whatever drug, whatever pharmakia or pharmaceutical shit that they give you to take, it just masks the symptom. That's all they do, family. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when you get a cut on your hand and you put a Band-Aid on the shit, you're pretty much covering up the wound, but it's still there. So underneath the Band-Aid, it's still there. I would say if you get a cut, don't bandage it up. You know what I'm saying? Put some, peroxide on the shit or alcohol, whatever, right? And just air dry it out. You know what I mean? Naturally, you let it get healed naturally. Don't cover it up. You know what I mean? So I'm saying this to say, family, that I for the first time, right, in a long time, I've realized why I never like going to the doctor. Never like going to the doctor. I haven't been to the doctor in years. I think the last time I went to the doctor was when I had COVID and shit. The real deal, right? Because I thought COVID was a myth. Now, it's a pandemic, but that shit is real. I had shit in 2021, and I'm going to tell you right now, family, it ain't no joke. And this particular illness that I have feels kind of similar, not exactly, because the first time when I had COVID, I couldn't breathe. I felt like it was like 10 people standing on my chest. I really thought that was it, you know what I mean? And I think was it 2000? Yeah, 2021. And I thought I was a goner. I thought this shit was bullshit. I used to make videos talk about it. Oh, it's all bullshit. No, it wasn't really bullshit. There's something that they made out there to take us out, you know what I'm saying? And for right now, what I'm feeling something similar towards it. You know what I mean? Look at this goofy girl, right? Every night, this nigga right here, she literally runs through the whole block. Let me be nice. I think she got some kind of mental illness and shit. Everything is mental illness for them. But yeah, family. So y'all just be careful out there, man. They say there's a thing going around called RSV and shit. And it's attacking a lot of people, especially elderly. They're having complications from it. So just go out there. I would say when you go out there, you know what I'm saying, they say not to wear any masks. People like, don't wear the mask because it suppress your breathing, man. Wear that shit if you're around these devils, because these devils always bringing some kind of disease. In the caves and shit, they brought smallpox and all this stuff out of the caves, and these devils just they incubate diseases and shit. So I would say if you're around people, definitely wear your mask. You don't have to wear this shit when you're by yourself, or I see people driving around in their motherfucking cars and shit by themselves with their mask on. That's kind of stupid to me. You know what I mean? But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. If any of y'all had any of these illnesses, and how did you deal with it?